into this very, very exciting session. Y'all look absolutely amazing out there. Can we just start off by giving you a round of applause for being here today, right now? Yes, you are awesome. Oh, that is gorgeous. Look, I want to tell you what innovation is going to look like in 10 years. Because we know where we came from, right? Technologies and new ideas were super specialized for people with disabilities, and then all of a sudden, everybody else looked around and went, oh, that works for me too. And now we have disability innovations that are being given investment by high-level financiers around the world. But the future of disability innovation is sitting with me right here on this stage today. With that, I want to pass the microphone to a very dear friend and colleague, a man named Varun, who is absolutely changing the game with Zero Project's Scaling Solutions program. Varun, how are you feeling today?
Very good, Anthony. Thank you. And hi, everybody. It's so fantastic to be here. My name is Varun Chandak, and I'm the founder and executive director of Access to Success, which is a Toronto-based global innovation hub for accessibility startups and a partner for the Zero Project Scaling Solutions program. Now, if you don't know what that is, the Zero Project Scaling Solutions program facilitates the transfer of cutting-edge accessibility and disability innovations across regions, countries, and communities. A handful of hand-picked fellows from all over the world this year from 6 countries go through some amazing programming, matchmaking, and support over a period of 8 months, made possible by the support of fantastic Zero Project Scaling Solutions partners, including, in addition to, of course, the Zero Project itself, Foundation Discriminate, and GIZ. And now, with no further ado, I'm going to have the first fellow of the day talk a little bit about their work and how they're scaling their innovations. And so first, we have Guilherme Braga from Innovate in Brazil. Guilherme, over to you.
I have a confession to make. The first time I walked into an iron mine, I looked around and I thought, this will never work. Imagine with me for a second, heavy machinery, constant noise, the risk of a dam breaking. And I was there to talk about accessibility and jobs for people with disabilities. After the initial shock, I remember thinking, if inclusion can work here, it can work anywhere. My name is Gui Braga, and I'm the founder of Egalité, a company that our core challenge is redesigning work so people with disabilities can truly belong. And that challenge became very real when we started working with Vale, one of the largest mining companies in the world. Mines, railway, ports, highly complex and highly regulated environment. That really forced a shift in the mindset. Usually, companies try to fit human in boxes. And if you are not a perfect fit, you don't belong. We need to throw away these old thoughts and create a new future. And this is exactly what our service is about. We combine job mapping and accessibility. We analyze each role, risk, and requirement. And the result is not a yes or no. The result is readiness. The company can clearly see what already works, what needs adjustment, and what needs redesign. We'll never exclude a person with disability. The goal is to show organizations how can they become more accessible using data to set priorities. When Vale applied this approach, something changed. Managers stopped guessing, hiring became safer, career mobility became possible. Promotions could be planned because accessibility stopped being abstract. Today, Vale has more than 2,000 people with disabilities working in Brazil. And what really surprised everyone was this. Most accommodations were simple, low cost. Sometimes it was communication, sometimes it was task adaptation, sometimes it was just removing assumptions no one had ever questioned. Of course, there were challenges and very complex adaptations. But that did not stop the company to move forward. Inclusion is not a miracle. Inclusion is a design decision. And here is the key takeaway we've learned. Inclusion fails when jobs are designed for only one type of human. Since then, this approach has been applied far beyond mining. Corporate office, retail operations, industrial plants. Companies like McDonald's, Walmart, and Uber trust our services. If you are a company, a leader, or a partner who wants to scale this approach, moving inclusion policies to practice, I would love to talk to you. And this is what I would like you to leave the room. Let's stop asking, is inclusion possible here? The real question is, how ready are our jobs for human diversity? Trust me, if it works in mines, it works anywhere.
Oh my gosh, Guillermo, this mind shift of going from entering a mine for the first time, like an actual iron mine where they dig out iron from the ground, and then taking that into this model of corporate support, not just, as you said, for this binary mindset of like, yes, we could, or no, we can't employ people with disabilities, but really looking at readiness as the result. And I'm using your exact words here because I thought they were just right on point. Hey folks, let's give Guillermo another round of applause for being awesome. Fantastic. All right, my next dear friend and colleague has been working in the area of accessible dentistry. And when I first learned about her work, my mind just kind of melted because I said, wow, how does this work? And my curiosity just went off the charts. So I hope you guys will share with me this curiosity and take it over. Shalhav, the audience is yours.
Who likes going to the dentist? Okay, 3 out of 300?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is you, lying there on that chair. You feel very vulnerable, you feel very exposed. And then you have the light, that light into your eyes, and it feels like you're getting blind, and you have the noise in your ear of the drill, and you feel like it's in your ear, and then that smell, what's that smell? It's like something's burning in your mouth, and the taste, is that chalky toothpaste that they use whenever they polish your teeth? Now let's think about the same situation. You have a disability, and you are lying back there on that chair. But you're not verbal, and you can't communicate. And then that drill hits your nerve, and you can't do anything. You can't say, hey, doctor, stop, it hurts me. So you can't cooperate. And maybe you're someone with sensory processing difficulties, so all the lights, and the noise makes you overwhelmed, so you can't cooperate. And the only thing that can be done is to knock you out. That is the default. So 45% of people with disabilities around the world are referred to general anesthesia for the dental treatment, not because they have a medical problem, but because they can't cooperate during dental treatment. My name is Shalhav, I'm a dentist, and I'm the medical director of the dental clinic at Bet Easy Shapiro in Israel. So what's wrong with general anesthesia? So let's say you're a person with a disability and you can't cooperate during dental treatment, but you need a checkup, you need a cleaning. So you go to general anesthesia, but you don't wake up because general anesthesia has health risks. And let's say you do wake up, but you're a 6-year-old boy, and then you see that they pulled out all your front teeth because they have to do all the treatment in just one session. At Bet Easy Shapiro, at our dental clinic, we developed this dental model. And with this dental model, we reduced the need for general anesthesia from 45% to just 4%. We treat each year 1,700 patients with disabilities, and only about 60 of them need general anesthesia. Now, I would like to share with you the impact of that model, how it affects people, how people feel when they go under dental treatment with our model. No. So I'd like you to meet Yohanan. He's a very nice young boy on the autism spectrum. He's 16 years old and he's nonverbal. So for a few months he suffered from dental pain, but he could not get dental treatment because he didn't agree to sit on the dental chair. So finally he was referred to general anesthesia, but his parents were very afraid, so they decided to look for another solution. So the first time I saw Yohanan, I met him in the parking lot because he didn't agree even to go out of the car and to enter the building. So I sat next to him and I smiled at him. And I told him, Yohanan, nice to meet you. My name is Shalhav and I'm a dentist. And you know, when someone has tooth pain, I know how to help. And a very important thing that I told him then was that I will never do anything without his approval, and that he will always be in control. So Yohanan, for the past 5 years, is able to come to treatment every few months. He's able to cooperate and to receive the treatment that he needs. And he's nonverbal, but he communicates by typing on his iPad. And after every dental treatment, he sends me an email and he describes how he felt. And I want to share some of his words with you. I've been to many doctors and they all treated me as hostile. But you respect me and see me as a person. I feel like an equal among equals here. So this is the result of a person-centered service. We see the patient as someone who we want to be an active part of the treatment. We also, another pillar of the dental model is adapted dental treatment. So we know persons with disabilities have barriers. We don't ignore them, but we work to remove them. And we also use multidisciplinary approach. For example, we use these visual communication cards, and we explain step by step the medical treatment so that the patient can understand. And with this way, we build trust and cooperation. So I teach at dental universities in Israel. And we have this model, it's written, it's accessible, and we want other universities to teach it or other dental teams to learn it so that they will be able to treat people with disabilities. So I want to share with you some words of a dental student from the Hebrew University. Before meeting a person with a disability, I had fear and a mental barrier. Through the training, with the help of this model, that barrier was removed. And today I understand that it's like treating any other person. And I know that I can and I will do it. So dentistry can be changed, it can be taught, and it's in our hands.
From 45% incidence of general anesthesia down to 4%. If this isn't an innovation that needs to go from Israel to every country in the world, I don't know what is. But the beauty of the Scaling Solutions program is that we look for innovations in all over the world of all of different types. And for that, just along those lines, I would like to go to my friend next, Enzo Romero from Lat Bionics in Peru.
Can I have the clicker, please? Yes, just the clicker. Thank you so much. So, good morning, everyone. Like many of you, I'm also a user of assistive technology device. In my case, I was born without my right hand, and such as many of you having dreams when you were a kid, my dream was to have a prosthesis like Luke Skywalker. This dream led me to study mechatronics engineering and then co-found Lat Bionics, an organization where we developed this sort of prosthesis. But in the process of developing my own solution, we faced the main problem. So according to the HUE organization, 4 out of 5 people who suffer upper limb amputation conditions live in developing countries like mine. So Peru is a country where 8 out of 10 companies are informal, which means that if you might have lost your hand due to labor conditions, then the company that you're working for is not going to give you any insurance at all. So you're not going to have access for any sort of prosthesis. And to buy an imported robotic prosthesis in my country can jump to $25,000. So for you to have an idea, for a regular worker, that would mean to save at least 7 years, not caring about dressing, not caring about food. And you must consider that between the moment that you suffer the amputation up until the moment that you're able to use once again your stump, there is a time of between 6 and 8 months for you to wait for it. So you were the main source of income in your household, and now you can work, you can buy a prosthesis at all. And we found that outrageous. Outrageous. So this is why we found Lat Bionics, an organization where we develop upper limb prosthesis for people of low income, both in Peru, all across Latin America, and since this conference, all around the world. Thinking about developing bespoke prostheses that are high quality too, but that are affordable. In order to get to do this, we use 3D scanning to have a digitalization of the amputated area. Then we have our own software where we get to create the prosthesis as the same size and weight of the other hand to finally 3D print all of this. So far we have 2 types of prosthesis. One that is body power, which means that gets to be activated with the other movement of the residual hand of the user, and our electronic power solutions, where since last year we've been working into incorporating AI into the solution of our prosthesis. So first, we will train the data set of signals from the electromyographic surface signals from the user, and with our very own stack model, we could increase up until 60% the intention of what the person is trying to perform with their hands, compared to any other type of prosthesis at all around the world. So you can figure out this is no longer a technological problem for us. So we get to work with companies as become providers for them, and also we get to direct selling for people who are eager to buy one of our prostheses. Our most expensive model, which is this AI-driven prosthesis, it's only $2,500, which is 10 times less the cost of this imported prosthesis that I was telling you about in the beginning. So far, we have 180 people using our prosthesis, a waiting list of 300 people all across Latin America, working into a model that we could make the digitalization locally, for example, here in Austria. Those data can be sent to us back in Peru. We get to design locally and send back the files again to be 3D printed here, on Israel, all across the world. So this is my ask for you guys. I will repeat myself. This is no longer a technological problem. It is a collective one. So what we are looking for? We're looking for organizations that are into nonprofit business that will help us to address the 60% amount of people that live in poverty or extreme poverty who, even at our prices, are unable to pay one of those capacities. And also, transnational companies, international companies that I know are here, who are eager to develop their corporate social responsibility initiatives with us. We can make the entire planning project for you seated both in Peru, all across Latin America, and around the world. This has begun as a dream of myself, but it now belongs to millions of people. Would you like to join us? Thank you so much.
Enzo, my God, what a beautiful sentiment that you bring across. And I want to tell you guys a little bit of a secret here. The innovations that are coming out of Latin America are not just changing the region, they are poised to change the world. So I hope that you will take this as a key opportunity to come up here and meet these amazing change makers. And speaking of an amazing change maker, I got my dear colleague Melissa here, who's going to bring you through the innovation that they've come up with that bridges technology and the experience of autistic people. It's an absolutely amazing piece of work. Melissa, the floor is yours.
Can I tell you a secret between us? Almost 5 years ago, during the pandemics, I went to a psychiatrist because my mental health was burning out. I think that he will tell me that it was depression, but no. He told me there is something else. And after 2 years of that, he confirmed my autism diagnosis. And since then, all of my life makes sense. But there's a problem. There is not much therapies that works with autistic adults right now. I'm Melissa, I'm a developer and I'm a teacher, and I decided to mix all these things up to create something that I think that it's incredible, and I hope that you find it too. AutisTop is a free app that tries to give to autistic individuals tools for their daily lives. But the way, the path, the route that I delivered to make this wasn't easy at all. For first, last week I received 3 one-star review in Google and Google Play, and it hurts a lot. But when I read it, it was because the app is in Spanish. But I'm from Chile; it's logical for me starting in Latin America. And then one point of a breakthrough for this was when I was in this program of business, and a colleague posted me on LinkedIn, "You don't have a business, you don't have innovation." And I was, why I'm trying to give on this, better I throw it up and give up. But thankfully, my family, my partner, part of the community told me, go up, you need to continue. And then I was doom scrolling on Instagram like most people do. And I got a DM. It was a mom. It was a mom that told me that her daughter learned to wash the dishes with the app. And it's ironic because I hate washing the dishes because it's slippery. It's a torture for me. But you need to do that. So I was proud because that girl learns something that is useful for their life. We need to wash the dishes. So an applause for that child that I hope that can hear it. But that is not the only story that I have with using this app. A few months ago, a girl talked to me because he was on a car crash, and car crashes are stressful. I asked her, are you okay? Yeah, I got no injuries in the car crash, but I got situational mutism in that moment. And they came, the police. So what can I do? I can communicate that I am autistic. But I remember that I have the app and I can use it for telling them that I'm autistic and they could understand me and help me. And it was really heartwarming because this is why I'm doing this, for helping people like me. And do you remember the story of that girl that told me that I don't have an innovation? Have a sip. Imagine that it's coffee because that was, I drink that in that moment. MIT doesn't think like her. MIT thought that I'm an innovator, and I was on the list of 2024 of innovators under 35 in that time. So, thank you. And actually, Forbes doesn't think like her. I was part of the 30 on the 30 on Latam. Well, how much money do you think that I used for doing this? That, also, I didn't tell you what this app really does, but it has 10 utilities that you can use as you need, like social histories, self-regulation tools. You can write your routines. You can write your have an emotional diary. You can have your to-do list. You can watch a marketplace. You have legal information about autism, job search. So how much money do you think that I needed to do that? A lot. I did it with zero funding, zero. So imagine what can I do with money. I'm looking for that because I want to reach all the autistic people on this world. Now we are translating, and I hope that before ending this Congress, it will be in the market. But we are translating into English and Portuguese, and we are looking for all the communities in the world that can be part of this. So, do you want to be part of a more inclusive world? Be a change maker and join out this app.
Amelie.
Well, Melissa, I'm really, really glad you kept going. You made something that was meant for you and you gave it to the world, because we, the people with disabilities, we are the original life hackers. As everybody here knows, the world wasn't made for us, but we make the world work for us, even when it gets dark. Like Martin Essel said this morning, even when it gets dark, we, the people in this room, we keep going. And another person who's still going strong is Becca Hume from Inclutech in the UK. Becca, over to you.
4,800 people across the world will try to reach emergency services during the next 5 minutes while I speak. Some of those people will be able to speak, some won't. Some must stay silent to stay safe, and some will lose their speech because of stress. In a moment, I'm going to stop speaking, not because I've forgotten what to say, but because for millions across the world, that's what an emergency is like. Some of you won't have realized that I was asking for help. Silence is not rare in emergencies. It's an everyday reality for those who can't speak, who must not speak, or who lose their speech during stress. My name is Becca Hume, and I'm the founder and CEO of Inclutech, the company behind TAP SOS, an accessible, non-verbal emergency communication app. I'd like you to think about being home alone. You start to feel dizzy, your arm becomes heavy, and you recognize the signs of a stroke, and you know you need emergency help. So you reach for your phone, but when you try to speak, the words don't come out. You can hear yourself thinking clearly, and you know what's happening, but the system expects voice. It expects fast answers, and at that exact moment, your body's not cooperating. That's how quickly any one of us can become vulnerable. In that moment, help does exist, but the access depends on your ability to speak. It's a failure of design, because emergencies are not only medical or physical crises, they're communication crises. And that's why we have developed TAP SOS, to close that gap. Think back to being home alone. If you had the TAP SOS app, at that same moment, it would look completely different. With our app, you don't have to speak. You would open up the app and follow a calm, visual pathway that allows you to select what's happening, where you are, and all of that information is shared automatically in under 1 minute. The emergency services then receive the information in a structured way without any spoken language. The difference isn't just speed, it's dignity. The system adapts to the person and not the other way around. So TAP SOS isn't a replacement for emergency services. It integrates directly into existing systems. So the call handling infrastructures receive information in systems that they already trust and use. For public authorities, this reduces risk. For emergency services, it reduces friction. And for people in crisis, it removes a barrier. In the UK, this model is live. TAP SOS is fully integrated into the emergency communications infrastructure following a rigorous process with government and the emergency services. And this means that non-verbal communication is treated exactly the same as any voice calls. So while TAP SOS is live and in the UK, it addresses a global issue. The need for non-verbal communication exists in every country. So we're looking to engage with national emergency agencies, public safety agencies, and regulators who want to explore non-verbal emergency communication and how that could work within your own systems. That could be through a pilot, through a policy dialogue, or through technical collaboration, because accessibility in emergencies should not depend on geography, and dignity should never depend on the ability to speak.
Beautiful.
Wow, Becca, I tell you, when I look out at the world and I see the instability and I see the chaos that we're kind of surrounded with now, and then I see what you've done with this amazing innovation, I feel a sense of calm, I feel a sense of peace, and I feel a sense of safety because of what you're doing. So from me personally, thank you so much for being you. You are absolutely awesome. All right, folks, we are wrapping up here, but we have one more amazing innovation that is absolutely changing things up over there in India. And this particular gentleman has me by the heartstrings because every time he tells me his origin stories, I almost tear up with happiness, joy, and enthusiasm. So with that, I want to introduce Pratik. Pratik, the floor is yours.
Have you ever wondered why persons with disabilities, despite being so large in number, and yet are hardly seen in public? It was the first time I was meeting this girl. This girl who I really liked. She had my heart. And I met her through this dating app, Tinder. I'm sure a lot of you must have heard of Tinder. So it was my first date with her, and we had been speaking for 3 months, and we had a great chemistry going on, and I was really looking towards our first date. It was coincidentally also the first time that I was stepping out as a wheelchair user after my accident that left me with a paraplegia. So I was all excited, and I wore the best coat I had. I sprayed the best perfume. I mean, women do love a good-smelling guy. don't they? Brownie points for them. And I even carried a rose for her. And we decided to go to this Italian place in town, Don's Pizza, because she loved pizza. Then I said, let's go to the best place in town. The problem started when we reached that place. As soon as we reached there, I saw that the restaurant had 3 steps at the entrance and no ramp for a wheelchair user to get inside. When I inquired about it with the restaurant team, they told me, sir, we can lift you up and put you on the other side. I said, what? No, that would be so embarrassing, and especially in front of the girl I am out on a date with. Sorry, sir, we don't have an accessible entrance. I was shocked. It made me realize that it is not the disability in my body that is stopping me from going out and meeting people or going on a date, but it is the disability in the infrastructure that is directly impacting my dignity, my independence, and my freedom. The date ended there. We did not go inside. We went back to our respective homes. To the people sitting in the audience, put yourself in my shoes. Imagine yourself as wheelchair users, wanting to go out to a public location with your girlfriend, with your wife, or even with your friend. But you cannot enter the building. The steps at the entrance make it inaccessible for you and tell you, not today. This is the exact harsh reality that millions of persons with disabilities face every day of their lives because the city is not built keeping them in mind. Here's the good news. We are taking action and we are changing that. Hello everyone, my name is Prateek Khandelwal and I am the founder of Ramp My City from India. Ramp My City provides well-engineered modular ramps that do not require breaking of any existing infrastructure, are quick to install, safe, durable, customized, and built for all kinds of public spaces. Because they are so easy to install, they save you cost, time, and approvals. Through strategic partnerships with the government, corporates, commercial establishments, and the civil society, Ramp My City, which started as a simple appeal to make a restaurant accessible, has now transformed more than 1,000 locations in India in less than 4 years. Our special focus has been to make accessibility from a charitable cause to a popular cause. And that is why we specifically target places of high public impact. So if you go to a popular restaurant or a hotel or a metro or an airport, you will see a Ramp My City ramp there because we want inclusion to be seen, heard, and felt. What we are also doing is building purple cities. Do you know the significance of the color purple? Like red is for love, purple is for inclusion. So the next time you open up Google Maps on your phone and you search accessible medical center near me, accessible public park near me, or accessible school near me, chances are that the results that will pop up are mostly of locations that have been made accessible by our company. And this entire mission to color our country purple has also reached the doors of the Honorable President of India. And just very recently, we were awarded with the President's Award in the highest category. So as you can see, what we are doing is very straightforward. We are making sure that accessibility is not a special privilege, but a very basic human need. So that when an Akshay wants to go to school, or when Simran wants to read her favorite book, or when Basu wants to go grocery shopping, or when Prateek wants to go on a date, we can completely do it without having to worry if the entrance is accessible or not. We have replicated this model in 10 cities in India and now looking to go global with special focus on Asia and Africa. We really want to take Ramp My City to Ramp My World. I have a poem for you guys. If you are somebody who believes in building a world where barriers are zero, this is your time to shine and be a hero. Meet me for coffee. I got you a rose. Inclusion is not just a slogan. Let's make sure it shows.
Prateek, my friend, you keep going at this pace, you're going to build a ramp right into some lucky girl's heart. But in all seriousness, these have been this year's Zero Project's Scaling Solutions Fellows. Please give it up for this year's Scaling Solutions Fellows with me. I think as we all know, the reality is that disability is not bound by borders. Disability is not dependent on what country you're in. And the thing is, neither are the solutions. These are amazing people building real solutions that are available today in their own countries and then some. And the Zero Project Scaling Solutions program wants to help these amazing people take these innovations into new regions, new countries, and new communities. But they can't do it on their own. We can't do it on our own. That's what we need all of you for. Whether you're innovators, or you're leaders, or you're working in your communities in some capacity, we need you. We need each and every one of you. So when you see a matchmaking meeting request and beta match come to you from one of these 6 fellows, don't you dare say no.
Beautiful.
Anthony, what do you think?
I mean, every time I sit on the stage and I hear these sort of innovations, my emotions are just so high. And today is no exception. I think I started to tear up on multiple occasions as you guys were pitching your solutions because they're just so profound, so impactful, and they just tug at not just the heartstrings, but the pocketbook as well. These are real business opportunities that are not just changing things for the better, but they're creating models that are replicable, that are sustainable, and that will be around for generations to come. Now, at the beginning of this session, I said, I'm going to tell you what innovation's going to look like in 10 years. And I said that it's sitting right here on this stage. But that wasn't the whole truth. Because it's not just sitting here on the stage, it's actually sitting in your seats right now. Because I want to see one of you, several of you, all of you up on this stage next year with your ideas, with your innovations. So please reach out to Varun, reach out to myself, reach out to the folks at Zero Project, and share what you've come up with. Share your ideas, the crazy ones, the silly ones, the fun ones, and maybe you could be here with me next year. It would be an absolute honor. Let's do one last round of applause for the folks that are up here on the stage with me. Thank you guys so much. You are awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.